If most of you who have been to my presentations before, you'll know that I really get down to business, and I'll make them short and sweet, but I hope you take a lot out of them. So let's begin. So, of course, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Autochartist platform. If you're not, there's a lot of webinars that give you introductions to the Autochartist platform. So we'll just dive into the meaty stuff immediately. So the Autochartist platform, here it is. We have some trading opportunities that the Autochartist platform has identified. And this is an example which I've just picked out here from the current list of available opportunities on currencies on the forex market. It's an opportunity on US dollar, Japanese yen. It was identified on 4-hourly candles, right? So each of these candles here has a 4-hourly candle, and there's been a breakthrough through the support level. Now, people ask me, Ilan, what are the criteria that one should base a trade on such an opportunity? Okay, so there's a few criteria that one can look at. One of them, of course, being the visual quality of the chart pattern itself. So these are these indicators over here, which basically tells you how uniform the pattern is, how much noise there is between support and resistance, the quality of the breakout itself, and many other indicators of the visual quality. That's one way to trade these things, right? Another way to trade these things, obviously, which is the primary topic of today's webinar, is actually which indicators to apply to Autochartist in order to try and increase your probability of hitting your forecast level. Now, before I carry on, I must warn you that trading obviously is a very high-risk venture, and this is my little disclaimer, right, that my legal people want. This presentation is not a solicitation to buy or sell any financial instruments, and please don't trade with money that you can't lose. All right, that's my shortened version. Otherwise, if I had it according to my lawyers, I'd be here for another 20 minutes to recite some disclaimers to you. So let's carry on. So a while back at Autochartist, we tried to do a study with regards to which other indicators, technical indicators, one can add to Autochartist in order to increase your probability of hitting your forecast region. And a few years ago, we did a study, and I hope that all of you can see my screen. I put up a little PowerPoint presentation, which I'm going to run through quickly. I'm not going to put into full screen mode because I want to flip between certain slides. I don't want to go through the whole presentation. So one thing that's very, very important on the slide is the fact that an indicator is not a trading strategy. That is very important to remember, okay? Autochartist is an indicator, right? That's what Autochartist is. A strategy is combinations of indicators. That means it's a Autochartist in combination with a moving average, in combination with an RSI, with some kind of stochastic indicator. That together would make a strategy, right? Along with certain rules like where to set stop losses and take profits, etc. So we did a study a few years back on a 9-year study over 57,000 patterns on the major currency pairs. And what we did is we actually tried to build a trading system in order to see where the profitability actually lies and how we can improve the profitability by adding additional instruments or additional indicator into the equation. So just so that all of you know what our take profit stop loss assumptions are, Autochartist provides you a take profit region, and which is calculated based on the initial trend of the pattern, right? And what we did in the system is not to test our stop loss and take profit strategy. We actually just set a very, very big stop loss in order just to see the profitability of the system instead of actually evaluating our stop loss and take profit strategy. And just to give you a breakdown of where how large the take profits are away from the breakout levels, in Autochartist. So for 15-minute patterns, the take profits are around 25 pips away from the breakout. On 30-minute patterns, they're just under 50 pips away. On 60-minute patterns, they're about 50 pips away. On 4-hourly Autochartist results, they're about 100 pips away. And on daily results, they're sitting on about 250 pips away on average from the breakout area. And what we did is we did an analysis on where the profitability actually lies. So you can see that the profit is in fact not made on 15-minute and 30-minute instruments or time intervals, but rather on 60, 240 and end-of-day instruments. Another interesting thing to note is that actually it's closer to 70%. The slide says 65% of patterns reach the prediction region. Actually, it's about 70 or 75% on the FX market specifically that hit their forecast regions. About 40% of them reach it within the first 30% of the prediction region. In fact, we've improved our engine to such a degree where actually it's closer to around 60% of them hit the region within the first 30% of the forecast area. Okay, so if you can see, this is the forecast area, and this is 50% of the forecast area. 30% would be, somewhere in the beginning of the forecast area. Let me try and draw that. Somewhere like that would be around 30% of the forecast area. 34% don't reach their level. Okay, and 60% of these make losses. So many 34%. What it means, 34% just do this, and they carry on forever like that, and they don't actually reach their level, right? Okay, so now what we did is subsequently we derived some information over here. This is the important bit. Over 40% of profitable trades occurred in the first 30% of the prediction region. That means within Autochartist itself, if you're going to be opening a position based on Autochartist, then if it goes the wrong way, close it. Sooner, don't just wait for it, because what we're seeing over here is that if it goes the wrong way, it goes the wrong way in a big way, and it goes the other way very fast. So what you need to do is you need to set quite an aggressive stop-loss strategy when trading chart patterns. So I'm going to skip through a few slides, and we just did a basic graph, a basic equity graph, and we call this the baseline equity graph. It's approximately, we make approximately 38,000 pips in 57,000 trades, which is 0.6 pips profit per trade, which is obviously, this is just a vanilla indicator as Autochartist itself. What we did subsequently was actually we put an early exit filter, right? Early exit filter means that what we did is we actually, if we didn't hit the take profit within the first 30% of the forecast region, we actually closed out our position early. Whether we're making a profit or we're making a loss, we simply close out the position. And what you can see is an equity curve that is far smoother, but not as profitable, of course. However, not a profitable, the pips per trade were also actually reduced. Then what we did, of course, is we took away we added an interval restriction where we actually took away the 15-minute and the 30-minute signals, and we actually only traded 60, 240, and end of day signals. And now things start becoming interesting. We had approximately 28,000 pips in profit over 12,000 trades, which is 2.3 pips per trade. And we continued. The next step was we added a market cycle indicator. And this is really where I was starting to head from the beginning of this presentation. And this is what I want to talk about. That what we did actually was simply add a moving average to the Autochartist in combination with the Autochartist indicator, and only traded when the slope of the moving average was in the same direction as the breakout. All right, and what you can see now is a nice potential equity curve moving bottom left to top right, and we have almost increased our initial profit pips per trade from 0.66 to 5.4. That's almost 10 times, about 8 times more, just by adding in a moving average. just to give you the progression, the evolution of the strategy. This is how it started off. Let me highlight that. This is the first step. Then this is exiting early. This is then the only trading the longer term patterns, and this is adding the moving average. And you can see the addition of the moving average was probably the most influential out of all of those changes. So let me close that screen down and get back to my trading screen, my Autochartist application. So now what you can see here in front of me is the Autochartist web application and a Metatrader application. For those of you who don't trade forex, Metatrader is a execution tool, execution platform where it has the ability to actually execute trades on the foreign currency market. The reason I use this in the presentation is because we have Autochartist actually plugged into this application. So this is why I use it. So it's quite convenient. Instead of having to draw the support and resistance levels myself, Autochartist is plugged into Metatrader, so it can draw the support resistance lines for me. Now, before I get going on actually analyzing this graph and whether we would or wouldn't take this position based on additional indicators, I want to show you how I set up my Metatrader so that it's quick and easy for me to do analysis. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do this exact same chart. I'm going to set it up from scratch. I open up a chart, right? And you can see this is what a vanilla chart on Metatrader looks like. Now, what I want to do is I want to get rid of the grid lines and all of that, just to make it easier with the way I trade. Of course, you can do the way things you want to do things. First, I right-click and I remove the grid. Okay. Then I shift my graph to the left. I make it candles, and I increase my zoom level. Then what I do is I take my Autochartist chart patterns, I drag and drop my Autochartist chart patterns onto my graph. Important, allow DLLs and allow external imports. And then under inputs, what I do is I actually make sure my completed patterns are true, my emerging patterns are false. I click OK, and I'm off. Now, what happens with Autochartist now? It goes out and fetches the information. All right. Now, what I can do now, let me move this out the way. What I can do now is I can also add in my key levels patterns. I drop key levels in. I make sure that my allow DLLs are on and allow external experts imports are on. And what I do is I make sure that show emerging and show complete are both true. I click OK. And then Autochartist, if all goes according to plan, goes out and it starts to download information. Okay. So now, let me click to my 4-hourly graph. And Autochartist will connect and download all my 4-hour information. The reason I'm doing a 4-hourly graph actually is because I want to specifically look at this opportunity itself here, which is a 4-hourly graph. Now I've got my chart the way I want it. However, I don't want to have to go through that process every single time I open up a Metatrader graph. So what I do is I go onto this little icon here called the template icon. I go save template. I type in my template name. I call it Autochartist. I click save. And now I have a chart template, right? So if I open up a different opportunities, right? Different opportunity, say this one on USD DKK, I open up this chart window. It comes up as the default chart, right? But now all I do is I just go apply my Autochartist template, and hey presto, I have an Autochartist style graph on my screen. Okay, so now I don't need to go through the whole process every single time that I want to actually run my Autochartist indicators. Okay, let me close that in the meantime. Let me close the last one I made because I've got it open here already. Now let me look at analyzing the Autochartist, this Autochartist opportunity along with other indicators. What I've done here, if you can all see the pink line, I have added a moving average. Now I can remove that, so I can show you how I actually added that in. I select the chart that I want to add it into. I go Insert, Indicators, Trend, Moving Average. And I select, actually, I like using a 34 candle moving average. That's because we actually found that somewhere between 30 and 50 is actually optimal. And what I do is I add it in like that. If you want, you can add in if you want to be very conservative, what you can do is you can add in a 50 candle moving average, which is what I like to do. So I had a 50 candle moving average. So what I'm actually looking for now, as per my presentation earlier, I'm looking for confirmation indicators, right? So what am I looking for? I am looking for the direction of the breakout to be in the direction of the moving average. So we can see the breakout was bearish, right? So we can see that on Autochart, this is a bearish breakout. And then we've got the moving average. But now the moving average is sloping upwards, okay? Now, because the moving average is sloping upwards, I would now say, I would question very much whether this is a trading opportunity that I actually want to follow or not. So I would actually, right now being quite conservative, I would say, no, this is an opportunity I do not want to follow. However, of course, this type of thing is obviously all up to your discretion, because if you add in, let's say like we did before, a 34 candle moving average, you can see again that now we have a very dramatic upward swing in the moving average. So we can actually adjust our moving average based on the criteria of the parameter that we send through on the moving average. So be careful not to overfit and to get your the result that you want to get, right? So pick a number anywhere between 30 and 50 and stick with it. If you go for a higher number like 50, like I do, then what you'll be doing is you'll be missing out on a bit of the initial movement of the breakouts, but you will be capitalizing on the follow-through of the movements. If you are more, less risk averse and more risky, if you have a high risk appetite, then you can set your moving average to be much smaller, because then your moving average will react to the current market conditions and actually be more indicative of what's currently happening on your on the instrument that you've selected. So in my opinion, this is an opportunity that I'm actually going to miss out on, and I don't want to trade that one. Okay. I saw another opportunity earlier on USD NOK. Let me actually find this opportunity right now on my screen. Here's the opportunity on USD NOK. And as you can see, I'll just zoom out a little bit. As you can see, it's the same opportunity that we see on Autochartist, that we see in Metatrader. Okay, and again, I applied just my Autochartist template onto my Metatrader, and I can see that there's been a breakout. All right, now the forecast level was very, very close to the breakout point, but you know, take that with a pinch of salt. The question for me really is, can we see a follow-through even further? All right, maybe down to kind of the next support level, which I think, according to the price drop, would be somewhere around 5.8. Will it go down there? Now the question is as follows: if we look at the moving average, which is again the pink line, at the time of the breakout. At the time of the breakout, the moving average was moving upwards. Okay, so again, the breakout was bearish, and the moving average was going long. So again, according to the studies I've done before, this is an opportunity which I am again going to miss out on. Okay. Then I found another opportunity earlier while I was looking through this, is a Euro CAD opportunity. Let me find that that opportunity now. Let me change our price crop to 30 minutes, because I have 30-minute opportunity. Now, the question for me is, do I trade this 30 minutes opportunity on EuroCAD? Oh, have I got the wrong graph? Oh, there it is. I've got to just zoom in a bit. There's been a breakout over here through the support level. Okay, and the question is, do I actually trade this going short? Now, if you look at the actual the moving average, again, now the moving average on at the identification time of this breakout of support level was actually short. You could wait for it a little bit longer. Okay, so we might not want to trade it right now, but certainly something to watch out for. So if EuroCAD maybe does a little bit more of a movement downwards, this is potentially something that we could actually trade. Now, let's look at some of the new opportunities that have come up on Autochartist right this moment. Now, what we can see immediately is when I click around the Autochartist opportunities here, is that you will very quickly learn how to eliminate some of these opportunities immediately, knowing that you're looking for an upward trend, okay, or a trend in the direction of the breakout. So, for example, this USD DKK, the trend was downwards. Chances are the moving average is not pointing upwards as yet, so we can eliminate that. Okay. What about this trade over here? Same thing with this trade over here. Is this something we want to trade? Isn't it? I'm not exactly sure whether that's something we want to trade. USD CAD, as I said, this one we're going to wait. If there's a bit of a follow through, then certainly we can look at taking a short position. Rising wedge, again, I'm not sure. It just looks like a big noisy movement through the breakout level, and so we can carry on and figure out which opportunities we actually want to trade or not. Again, this is just one indicator you can add in. You could, for example, take a completely different view on the matter and look at something like an RSI movement. So if you're looking at the USD JPY opportunity that we saw earlier, and we add in an RSI of 50. Again, the RSI is an indication of whether the thing is overbought and oversold. Again, even this indicator is telling us, you know what, this is not above 70, it's not below 30, it's not overbought, oversold. It's kind of sitting, within a comfortable movement range. Again, this indicator is saying to us, this is something which we probably don't want to trade either. Now, having said that, you're probably wondering, why don't we just do the work for you on Autochartist, right? Why don't we just add in a nice moving average, right? I mean, I know that's on everyone's mind. Why don't you just add in a nice moving average here so that everyone can see what's going on and we can make a trading decision? The reality is that it's actually a business decision for us, because Autochartist in itself is not a trading system. It is an indicator, right? We as a company are precluded from soliciting trades or telling you to trade anything. We simply give you the information, and you as a trader need to make a decision about whether to trade certain instruments or not. Okay, so again, no solicitation of the opportunities. Now, one thing we have done at Autochartist is provide you some very basic statistics as to the performance of certain instruments and certain types of chart patterns, which are outside of moving averages and RSIs. So if you click on the performance statistics section within Autochartist, and again, I will take the forex market as an example. If I open up the chart patterns statistics, we can see that over the last 6 months or so, let me just get a pen quickly to highlight the relevant information. Over the last 6 months or so, about 16,500 chart patterns were identified, of which 10,000 were correct. That's a 65% average. However, the 65% is not actually the important number. The important numbers are actually lower down, which is the breakout by the types of patterns, by the symbols themselves. So we can see, for example, that some of the patterns do really, really well. Ascending triangles do really well. Head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders are some of our top performers. Pennants do really, really poorly. We've done really well over the last 6 months from USD NOK, USD Hong Kong dollar, and not too bad on certain others. For example, on some of the major crosses, we're up at 68%. Right? Of course, we have our breakdown by intervals, by the hour of the day. Interestingly enough, the hour of the day is very interesting for me because we do really, really well during the London session. Right? This is in Eastern Standard Time, by the way, and not very well during the US session. Of course, London is the capital of the forex world, so most people, most experienced traders will tell you to ignore what happens in the US session for forex and just trade the London session. Of course, I think that kind of comment is only relevant for those specific strategies that those people are using. If you're using a volatility-based strategy, then chances are London will be good for you. If you're using a trending type of strategy, maybe the US will be good for you. So, take this with a pinch of salt and see if your strategy works the same way. We, of course, have statistics, similar statistics for all our analysis. What we've done in a new feature we've just released is something called Our Favorites. Now, Our Favorites is basically taking this trading opportunity screen, right, which is the screen we were looking at just a second ago. We combine it with the performance statistics, and we get Our Favorites, where we give you the ability to choose a group of instruments, a minimum probability of success based on the past 6 months, right, of success broken down by instrument, interval, and time of day, where the average probability would be set to over 65. So we can see immediately that Autochartist has done a lot of the work for us in terms of filtering information based on the probabilities. So these probabilities we see in front of us are all over 65% probable based on past probability. Now, obviously, past probability may not be indicative of future performance. That's, again, my legal people talking in my ear again for me. But now I can set it to 70%, and these opportunities here are really Autochartist's favorite opportunities right now. So if you're lazy, like me, and you don't want to go through every single trading opportunity on the trading opportunity screen, I just simply go to Our Favorites, and I just look at the 25 that I'm looking at right here. And those are the ones that I potentially trade. Now, for example, let's look at this one over here, USD DKK. Let me just try and quickly locate that on my Metatrader if I have it. Oh, I don't think I actually have it installed on this Metatrader. But in my experience, it'll tell me that USD DKK has broken through, right, aiming towards the 5.68 level. I think we've missed the movement a little bit, but what I can tell you is that a 30-day moving average based on this trend would definitely be pointing downwards, okay? And certainly, if it wasn't pointing downwards there, it would be pointing downwards after this big candle over here. So potentially, I would have traded this at 5.7 going short, and it's heading towards 5.68. And potentially, there's still some potential that I should take a position on this, a short position on this instrument. Down to that level, a few pips in there to be had. Okay, so this is what I do. I actually am a lazy guy like the rest of us, and I actually just look at the Our Favorites section unless it leaves me hollow and I haven't traded anything, and then I go scrounging around the trading opportunity section. Now, there is one part of Autochartist where we actually have done a lot of the work for you. And if you go into the messaging and alerts section of Autochartist, you'll actually have the ability to subscribe to what we call a market report. And I'll show you an example of this market report. First, what I'll do is I will actually show you how to subscribe to these market reports. What you do is you click on the market report you want. Currently, we have this report here I'm going to demo to you on the foreign currency market. You select when you want it sent to you. That means you want it before the open of Tokyo, before the open of Europe, or which is London, or before the open of the US session. I am currently in the United States, so I ask for the US session, and I speak English, so I click on English. I put my email address in, and I click Save. And what actually happens now is that on a daily basis, before the US markets open, I get this on my email. Now, I'll give my screen a few moments to just refresh for you. And so about an hour ago or so, I received this email in my inbox. And now what you will notice here on these opportunities is actually the fact that we do actually add in a 34-day moving average and an RSI for you on your behalf. Okay, so you can see immediately that, for example, this is a USD JPY opportunity that we looked at earlier. You don't have to add things to Metatrader onto your trading platform. You can simply have a look right now to see, is it trending downwards? No, but you know, if I wanted to set some kind of limit order at 98.83, you know, where, you know, if it had moved down a bit, my moving average would be pointing down, that would be an opportunity. But right now to trade this, you know, you have to ask yourself that question, whether to trade this or not. This is an interesting one. We missed the opportunity on USD, on AUD USD, because at the breakout point, which is where this line is, the moving average was actually not moving downwards. But if we waited for it just a little bit, a few more candles to actually confirm the breakout, you probably would have taken a short position around 103.11 and made a bit of profit all the way down to about 102. Similarly, if you scroll down all these opportunities, you will actually get an idea that Autochartist actually does a lot of the work for you. All right. So the reason why we can do it on these market reports is because this is not a real-time product, right? These opportunities are actually static reports, which we send out 3 times a day. So as a company, we're not precluded from actually doing a lot of the analysis for you. Here's an interesting opportunity on pound Swiss franc. It's just broken out. Looks like the moving average is turning slightly. If it moves just a little bit more, certainly this would be an interesting opportunity to take. Also, not only because the moving average is going in that direction, but also because we can see there was quite strong resistance at that level at 14488. Chances are if it goes just a little bit higher, we're going to have a breakout through this resistance level and a moving average and a breakout through a lower breakout point, and then this is a very, very good opportunity to take. So let me switch back to my Autochartist and my Metatrader screen. Okay, so that is pretty much what I have to say. I hope there are lots of questions. Errol, could I ask you to jump in? I haven't been monitoring the questions at all. So would you mind jumping in and telling me what you want me to deal with?
Hi, Lan. Yes, we have actually only 2 questions at this stage. Mike wants to know, will the same themes apply to approaches and breakouts, or do these ideas only apply to patterns?
They apply both to patterns.
He asked a question when you were doing the statistics earlier.
Oh, good. Okay. So actually, the techniques I'm talking about in terms of the moving averages, using moving average as a confirmation, is actually applicable to breakout patterns, okay, and support resistance levels. So, for example, if you look at filtering your results, which is in the middle of your screen over here, the filtering results, if you just click on chart patterns and key level breakouts, these are the results to which it would be applicable to. I like to use, for emerging patterns and emerging key levels, I actually like to use a stochastic indicator such as an RSI, because those are more short-term movements and you just basically looking for movements between the lines, which means that you're actually, let me actually bring up an example just to show people what I'm talking about. So this, for example, right, you're looking for a very short-term movement, bullish, right, long. So it wouldn't be applicable to take a moving average as a supporting indicator here. You would actually use something like an RSI or stochastic to say, has it actually moved down substantially, and can I expect a very short-term movement long in this movement? So I would look at using moving averages or trending indicators for these opportunities here, and I would use stochastic indicators for these opportunities over here. I hope I've answered that question.
Okay, thanks. And then just one more at the moment. It's just a technical question about the MT4 plugin.
Yes.
The person just wants to know, how do you move it around on the screen?
Oh, right. Oh, that's a little trick. Good. That's a good question. It's a very good question. We get asked that question a lot. Okay, so let me just close down my RSI over here so we can see the Autochartist screens. What you're going to do is you see this little icon on the top left of the Autochartist plugin screens. What you do is you double click that icon so it highlights. You'll see a little block around it, and then drag and drop it somewhere. And as the ticks come through, you'll see I dragged it there. As the ticks come through, on the next tick that comes through for that instrument, the little window will move around. So that's how you move it around. In future versions, we're actually going to have the feature to switch that on and off. So it doesn't come up on the screen, but I know it does get annoying sometimes. But our ability to, with what we do technically within Metatrader is limited. So we are limited in terms of the functionality, the user functionality and interface we can provide.
Okay, at the moment that's all the questions.
Okay, I see there is one question about it's slowing down. Autochart slows down. But as far as I know, it shouldn't be slowing down your Metatrader at all. It used to on a very, very old version where Metatrader used to wait while Autochartist downloaded Autochartist results, but that's been changed. And so I'll ask you if you're still seeing your Metatrader slowing down within when you're using Autochartist indicator, to just download the latest version. And the way you do that is you log into your Autochartist web application, and in the resources and education section, which I'm showing you on my screen right now, you can just click onto downloads and you will have the appropriate download for your broker for the latest version. So if you are seeing a slowdown, click on the latest version and those issues should be resolved. Okay, is there... Oh, sorry. So there's another question by Suresh. I know the MT4, but I use custom indicator with the new feature. I'm not quite sure what the question is actually, Suresh. I don't really understand what the question is. Okay, but anyway, if you have any further questions, because we're going to wrap up this this webinar, because it's been almost 40 minutes. It's been going on. It's more than my regular webinars. Oh, yeah, Suresh has asked that question. Oh, yes, Suresh, of course. Suresh has a custom RSI indicator which he wants to use. You know, Suresh, my whole point is that there's no rule. All the RSI indicator is fundamentally is that it tells you whether a share is overbought or oversold. And that is the type of indicator that you need when using emerging patterns. You need an overbought, oversold indicator. It doesn't have to be an RSI. You can use a stochastic or any other type of overbought, oversold indicator. And with breakout patterns and support resistance levels, you should use a trending indicator, right? Such as a moving average, you know. So those are just examples. But yes, any stochastic indicator we'll use. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up there. If you have any further questions, please feel free to email support@autochartist.com. We look forward to engaging with you, answering any questions, certainly about our favorites, features, and our market reports. We hope you enjoy these features. There are new features we've just released, so let us know how you feel about them, how we can improve them. We always value everyone's feedback. So thank you once again to everybody, and enjoy your day, and the recording will be up on the website very soon. Bye.